Yes, very good morning to children. We were discussing the demand side of new economic policy in 1991. That means what are the demand factors which has compelled the government to introduce the new economic policy? That is what we were discussing. There we have seen the basic objective of government was to control inflation, to go for fiscal correction, and today we are going to discuss the third objective, that is BOP adjustment. Children, what is BOP? Balance of payment. BOP stands for balance of payment. Okay, 1 minute, I'm just using the highlight now. As the part of or as the background for introducing NEP 1991, we know that in one day, all on a sudden, government cannot introduce the step for privatization. The background has to be ready. So one of the main background which the government made ready was Indian rupee has been devalued by 18 to 19% in 1991, July 1991, just before the introduction of new economic policy or economic reforms. Government of India has devalued the Indian rupee. Children, you should know what is the meaning of the term devalued. In case you do not know, take down. Devaluation means officially reducing the value of currency. Devaluation means officially reducing the value of domestic currency. Please take down the point. Value of domestic currency. Please understand that on the introductory note itself, I am telling you, devaluation is very clearly showing that country's balance of payment is in crisis. Please understand. Again, the question arises, Madam, what is the meaning of BOP crisis? The payment is more than receipt, and it is creating deficit in the balance of payment. So government has to correct that balance of payment. So they will go for devaluation of the currency. And another point what you have to remember is devaluation require, please remember it very well, devaluation require permission from IMF. IMF is nothing but International Monetary Fund. So devaluation require permission from IMF. What is the reason? The basic reason is when India is devaluing, IMF will see that other neighboring countries are not devaluing the currency. Because when India is devaluing the currency by say 10%, if Singapore is also devaluing, if China is also devaluing their currency, naturally none of the countries are going to get the benefit. So IMF will see that when one country is devaluing the currency, other countries will not devalue at the same time. That is why we said that devaluation require official permission from IMF. And I told you, devaluation means reducing the value of domestic currency. Okay, I will give you one example for devaluation so that it will be clear to you. Children, the moment it is not, if I am fast or something, tell me. I am just adding, one slide. Just give me 1 minute time. I am just adding one slide. Okay, I hope you can see now. Can you see the slide? Confirm. Children, can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. See, let us assume that $1 is equivalent to say 60 rupees. Okay, RBI or the government, they are devaluing Indian rupee by 10%. What is the meaning of this? 10% means rupees 60 into 10 upon 100. Okay, so this is equivalent to rupees 6. So after devaluation, what will happen? See here, after devaluation, listen very carefully, devaluation is a very useful term. After devaluation, $1 will become 66 rupees. See here children, $1 will become 66. What does it mean? It means before devaluation, $1 was costing 60. Now $1 is becoming 66. Economically or in economic terms, how we will interpret it? डिवैल्यूएशन के पहले $1 मिलने के लिए 60 रुपये देना पड़ता था, अभी $1 मिलने के लिए 66 रुपीस देना पड़ता है. That means it is very clear, value of Indian rupee, value of rupee has gone down and the value of dollar has gone up. This is devaluation. I hope it is clear to you. Devaluation में इंडियन करेंसी का वैल्यू कम होता है and डॉलर का वैल्यू ज़्यादा होता है. Why we are doing so? Basically, we are doing this because we are facing deficit in the balance of payment. You have seen that before devaluation, we were giving 60 rupees for dollar. Now we are giving 66 rupees for dollar. So here the value of our currency has come down and the value of foreign currency has gone up. You will ask the question, madam, why we are doing so? इसके वजह से what is the benefit? Theoretically speaking, export will go up, theoretically speaking, and import will come down. This is the objective of devaluation. Export will go up and import will come down. What does it mean? Earlier, the exporters were getting 60 rupees for $1. Now they are going to get 66 rupees for $1. So naturally, they will try to increase the export. At the same time, importers, they will reduce the import because now they have to pay more. Please understand that. So Indian rupee has been devalued by 18 to 19%. It is a considerable amount of reduction of the value of Indian currency. India has devalued the currency 2 times. Before the emergency period of 1977, Indian currency has been devalued. Now again the currency has been devalued. I told you the purpose of devaluation is to boost the export. Please understand very clearly. Then because we have to create a background, we have to create a canvas, because country is going to jump from mixed economy towards privatization. Only after making the background, government can announce the new economic policy or economic reforms. Again, further, as a step towards privatization or economic reforms, government introduced LERMS. Children, it's a very good general knowledge question too. In 92-93. When did government introduce LERMS? Government has introduced LERMS in 92-93. What do you mean by LERMS? Dekho, L stands for Liberalized Exchange Rate System. Liberalized Exchange Rate System, that is known as LERMS. I will explain what is Liberalized Exchange Rate System. Dual exchange rate has been introduced in India. See this word. Dual exchange rate has been introduced in India. That means here 40% foreign exchange has to be surrendered at the official rate. 60% can be sold at the market rate. This is the dual rate. You are an exporter, you are getting say $1,000. You are an exporter, you are getting $1,000. Out of the $1,000, $400 you have to sell to RBI at the official rate. The $600, what is the balance? You can sell at the market rate. This is known as dual exchange rate. Dual exchange rate means 2 exchange rate exist. Children, what are the 2 exchange rate? The 2 exchange rate is, I am writing here, The dual exchange rate means there are two exchange rate. Dual exchange. One is the official rate, other is the market rate. Official rate, who is fixing, children? RBI. Market rate is fixed by demand and supply. Market rate is fixed by demand and supply. I hope you are taking down important point. Demand and supply, this is fixed by RBI. So here 40% of your export earnings you have to surrender to RBI at the official rate. Remaining 60% you can sell at the market rate. You may ask the question, madam, why there are two rates? Earlier India was having only one rate and that rate was fixed by RBI. Because of this, what is happening? Many of the exporters were not getting good rate of exchange because market rate was different from official rate. Say for example, official rate $1 is equivalent to 60 rupees. Okay, so at this rate you will have to surrender 40% of your earnings. Open market rate $1 is equivalent to say 63 rupees. So you can sell 60% of your currency at 63 rupees. So what is happening? 3 rupees extra per dollar you are getting when you are selling in the market rate. I hope you are understanding. 6 rupees means 3 rupees extra you are getting when you are selling 60% of your foreign exchange at the market price. This is known as dual exchange rate. Children, tell me, in dual exchange rate, how many exchange rates are there? Come on, quick. In dual exchange rate, how many exchange rates are there?
Two exchange rates.
Right. Which are the two exchange rates?
Official market rate.
Official and market rate. Both are different. Official and market rate. Yes, I read your messages. Official and market rate. Official rate of exchange is decided by whom?
RBI.
RBI, very nice. Market rate is decided by whom?
Demand and supply.
Perfect, demand and supply. So this is known as LERMS. What do you mean by LERMS? Liberalized exchange rate system. Earlier we were having only one rate of exchange. Today means 92-93, government or RBI has introduced dual exchange rate system. So why did they introduce a dual exchange rate system? When the exporter can sell 60% of his earnings in the market rate, he will be earning more. When he knows that he is going to earn more, he will be exporting more. When he is exporting more, India will be getting more and more foreign exchange. And our basic objective or our basic problem in 91 was we were facing shortage of dollar. So government was interested to get more and more dollar. In order to get more and more dollar, government has introduced LERMS. I hope up to this is clear. In 1993-94, India moved towards managed floating exchange rate. Children, every word is important. 93-94, India has moved towards managed floating exchange rate. What do you mean by managed floating exchange rate? The exchange rate was partially controlled by RBI and partially it was managed by market rate. Managed floating exchange rate means, I am repeating again, exchange rate was partially controlled by RBI and partially it was controlled by the market. That is the meaning of it. Now, so far we were discussing the demand side of the NEP 1991. Now we are moving into supply side. Children, you can see here, supply side. That is, from the supply point of view, what all things government has done when they were introducing new economic policy. So many times we repeated, new economic policy cannot be introduced without making your background strong, because mentally and policy wise, the economic background has to be clear. So what did the government do? What did the government do? They had introduced industrial sector reforms, public sector reforms, then trade and capital flows, then financial sector reforms. So 4 sector main government has introduced the reforms. First one they introduced in the industrial sector. Then they had introduced public sector reforms. Then they controlled or they changed the rules relating to the capital inflows and outflows. Then it was followed by financial sector reforms. All this can be asked separately for 5 marks if you are having the offline paper. Online paper, as usual, objectives will come. First, we are discussing industrial sector reforms. You can see here. Children, remember, industrial sector reform is dealing exclusively with industry. One of the main challenge when a country is introducing economic reform, popularly known as a move towards privatization and globalization, what is important is industry should be competitive internationally. Please understand that industry should be competitive were at the international level. Till 1991, Indian industry was overprotected by the government because government always protected the industry just like the parents protect the children. Because of the overprotection, what has happened, children? Our industry could not compete at the global level. Because global level, you have to compete with different countries and different product. But we could not compete there because we got some inherent defects. So what did the new industrial policy did? The new industrial policy, what did they do? They abolished industrial licensing. Please understand it very thoroughly. Step number 1, government has abolished industrial licensing. You may ask the question, Madam, what is industrial licensing? Why did the government abolish it? India was following license Raj from 1951, not till, from 1951. I told you why 1951 is important in India. It was the year in which we have started the year in which we have started first 5-year plan in 1951. Those who are listening carefully, you can take down the point. 1951 is very crucial because India started first 5-year plan. In India, 1 minute. India started first 5-year plan. So from first 5-year plan, first 5-year plan. First 5-year plan till, please mute yourself. No, I will be removing you. Lecture is getting recorded, mute yourself. 1 minute, otherwise I will be forced to remove the student. Yes. 1 second, children. Somebody. Mahesh Singh, mute yourself. I am. Okay. So India was following license Raj till 1991. What do you mean by license Raj? License Raj means any industry, in order to start that industry, you require license from the government. That is known as license Raj. Then you may ask, what is the problem in getting the license? For unfortunately in India, license was given only to those industries who can influence the government. That was the problem of license Raj. That means license Raj was directly or indirectly encouraging corruption. There are so many entrepreneurs who are capable, but they were not getting the license. Say, for example, I want to start a petrol pump. Naturally, I require license from the government. But I could not start the petrol pump because I could not influence the government. Indirectly speaking, it was encouraging corruption. So government realized that efficient people were not getting a chance to start industry in India because of this license Raj. So what did NEP do? New economic policy, you can see here, new economic policy put a stop. Look, license Raj has been ended in India in 1991. It made it very clear only 5 industry require license after 1991. Only 5 industry require license. 5 industry require license. Remaining all industry do not require license. It means they can start by themselves. Which are these industries which require license? Alcohol. We know that this is injurious to the health. So government did not allow everybody to start the alcohol business without getting license from the government. Then equally dangerous is cigarette. Okay. Then dangerous chemicals. Okay. Defense equipments. Then industrial explosives. All these are dangerous items from the point of view of health of the economy as well as health of the welfare of the people. So government made it very clear, only 5 industry require license from the government. Children, 5 industry means alcohol, cigarettes, dangerous chemicals, defense equipments, and explosives. Explosives, you know that they are used, in industries. So all this cannot be given to the private individuals because they may misuse it. So abolition of industrial licensing, 2 points I am summarizing. Government of India was following license Raj till 1991. Government NEP 1991 ended license Raj. At present, only 5 industry require license. Now comes the major part. You can see here, government permitted FDI and they also made changes in the 1 minute. They also 1 second unnecessarily. They also made changes in foreign technology rules. 1 second, it is something went wrong. Yes, FDI was allowed. Okay. Government has allowed FDI up to 51%. We know that FDI means foreign direct investment. Please understand the concept of FDI was quite unpopular or quite unfamiliar before economic reforms. That means government was not allowing foreign direct investment in India till 1991 on a large scale. After 1991, you can see here, 51% government allowed FDI. Please remember, 51% they did not allow in all the sectors. Government was very careful. In certain sectors, government allowed FDI. Then later, in certain sectors, it went up to 100%. That means government made very thorough study. Which are the industries which require foreign direct investment and how much percentage. So it is seen that certain industries we can allow up to 100%. You may ask, madam, give one example. Let us take the case of hotel industry. In the case of hotel industry, especially you know that 5-star hotel and all, government allowed 100% FDI. Example, you take near the airport or near the Mumbai airport, you might have seen Hyatt. Okay, Hyatt International is an foreign, it's a five-star hotel where there is a foreign investment. Now, recently, due to this COVID pandemic, you know that around 1.5 years, this five-star hotel has been closed down, except it is used for quarantine purposes. So in last week, you can see that Hyatt has been closed down their Mumbai operation because what they realized is it is very uneconomical to continue when government does not allow foreign travels. So what I'm telling is government has allowed 100% FDI in certain sectors. But remember, foreign direct investment is always, they are coming to India with the purpose of making profit. The moment they realize that there is no chance to get profit from the country, they will leave that country. That we have to ready to accept. Now comes the most important part, or rather the most controversial part. That part is known as disinvestment. You can see here, government has reduced the role of public sector. Children, always you remember, till you get a job and till you are living in this country, India, a new economic policy has totally changed the picture of the country. Because mixed economy, ma'am, you know that public sector was playing a predominant role. But here in new economic reforms, what did the government do? They have reduced the number of public sector and increased the number of private sector industry. You may ask, madam, why did the government do so? Government has done so because the very purpose of NEP was to reduce the government expenditure. Government does not wanted to take the overburden on their shoulder. So they wanted to reduce their expenditure and they want the private sector to come and play the role. Because just like Western countries like USA, where the role of government is comparatively less and the role of private sector is more. So as a part of privatization, what did the government do? Look here. Government has reduced the number of industry, look this word, reserved for public sector only to 3. This is very, very good objective also. At present, only 3 industries which are exclusively in public sector. Which are the 3 industries? One is atomic energy. You know that BRC, Baba Atomic Research Center. You know, like atomic energy is still in the hands of government. Then items notified by Atomic Energy Department. Then when I was preparing this PPT, we know that even railway was under the government. But now we know that when metro and all that has come, government is allowing private participation also in the railways. But these are the 3 industries where government never allowed private, 100%. The 3 industries are, one is atomic energy, second is items notified by Atomic Energy Department, and third is railways. So we are quickly refreshing children from the supply side. What is the first point, what we were discussing in the supply side? If you are remembering, government has abolished the licensing. Second is they have permitted the FDI. Third is government has reduced the role of public sector. That means Indian economy was slowly going towards privatization. So far things are clear. Please write in the chat box. Yes, you have written here. Now please write in the chat. Is it clear to you? Supply side of NEP. Yes, I can see in the chat box. Okay. Thank you, children. Thank you. Now, as a part of privatization, government has also removed MRTP. Look here. Government has also removed MRTP. Those who do not know, you can take down the meaning of MRTP. 1 minute, children. I cannot see the highlighter today, but that's a problem. Please take down. You can see here MRTP ka full form. Monopoly and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. Monopoly and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. New economic policy has removed, you can see this word, they have removed MRTP. Simple, at present there is no MRTP in India. Question arises, madam, what is MRTP? Why did MRTP has been abolished? Okay, we will come to that. Then third question, madam, abhi MRTP nahi hone par, what do we have now? Now we are having something known as Competition Act. We are having something known as Competition Act. 1 second. We are having something known as Competition Act. 2002, government has abolished MRTP and government has introduced Competition Act. Now, what was MRTP? Why it was introduced? You are very well aware that during 1951, when India, after India getting independence and the partition and all that, India was having highly committed, patriotic leaders in our cabinet. So they have planned it so well, each and every point of the welfare of the country has been covered. So MRTP means what? Large company, look here, whose asset is more than 100 crore. The company whose asset is more than 100 crore, they were not allowed to expand further. Look here. The company whose asset is more than 100 crore, they were not allowed to expand further. What was the reason, children? When the company's asset is more than 100 crore, they were coming under MRTP. When the company's asset is more than 100 crore, they were coming under MRTP. That means they were coming under monopoly. Because if the government allowed the company to expand limitlessly, they will become huge giants and they will enjoy monopoly. If they become monopoly, what will happen? Country will be having only 1 or 2 big companies. Now also many people are telling, at present, if I am asking you who are the big giants in business, you will say that Ambani Group and Adani Group, because they are becoming monopolist. But beginning till 1991 or till 2001, you can say that government was not allowing this. When your asset is more than 100 crore, automatically you will come under MRTP. The moment you come under MRTP, then committee will ask the explanation. How did you make so much asset? What is the reason? So they were not allowing the company to expand. But 2002 onwards, MRTP has been abolished. Now there is a Competition Act. What is the Competition Act? You can have assets more than 100 crores. No issue at all. You can have the assets more than 100 crores. It will not be coming under any Monopoly Act. Children, why did the government change it? I told you we are going towards privatization. Privatization means it will encourage monopoly. That is the reason US is producing largest number of billionaires in the world. Whenever you are taking any billionaires by any category, you can see that first 3, 4 or first 5 people are always from US. The main reason is this only, they encourage competition. And they never believe that competition should be controlled. So children, I am unmuting yourself. Tell me, what is monopoly? What is MRTP Act? What is the full form of MRTP? Children, now it's a time. So we will.
Monopoly and restrictive trade practices.
Yes, trade practices. Perfect. So in that, which companies were not allowed to expand? MRTP means which companies were not allowed to expand? What was the limit?
More than 1 crore.
Not more 1 crore, more than?
Crores. 100 crores.
Yes, 100 crores.
100 crores.
Perfect. Now that has been removed. At present, we are having Competition Act. Children, so whatever we have done today, I will be sharing you the video. We will continue now. 1 minute, children.